Hey everybody, I'm William Green. Welcome to My Green Pets. Wanted to show you my Clivia miniata because these plants usually need a cool rest in the winter time to stimulate blooming. And I had it outside and I didn't bring it inside until a couple weeks ago. So it was experiencing some cooler nights for quite a few weeks. And so what's happened, well, when I brought it inside, I noticed today that it's already trying to bloom. The problem is, if they don't get a long enough dormancy, the stem that has got the blooms on it won't extend out all the way, and that's what you can see has happened here. It's got buds down in the middle of the plant there, but they haven't pushed out yet. Typically, you can look over here and see that the stem usually comes out and is quite long, and these bloomed out early in the summer. So this is kind of the ideal situation. It comes out this and then all the flowers pop out, but a lot of times if it doesn't get the dormancy that it needs, it kind of blooms early. And I treated this plant earlier today with some, it was imidacloprid and beta cyfluthrin, something like that, because I found little spider webs in it, and I've got lots of black widows around here, and I just did not want spiders in my house, so I did give it an insecticide treatment. I also wanted to show you really quick that all my pumpkins have completely dissolved from the frost. So if we have a look over here, you can see these guys are just, I mean, there's just nothing left of them, right? So I'm gonna pull all these out and throw them in the trash. But I'm really excited about my little succulent garden here. You can see these Delosperma have absolutely just expanded way further out than when I initially bought them. All the hens and chicks, the lavender, they all look like they're just doing fine, even though we've had a few cold nights. It's actually pretty warm today. All right, let's go look inside and see what's going on in there. I want to show you my grocery store Phalaenopsis orchids. If you've got some at home, you might be seeing what I'm seeing right now. With the cooler temperatures of fall, you're seeing spikes coming out, and that's really exciting. So you can see where last year's spike is still here. And actually, I just noticed, if you look right here on the tip, it's actually starting to push out something from that spot as well. But then the plant is also starting a new spike down here, and you can see it's already quite far along. Generally, what I'll do is, once the spike gets to about this length, I'll turn the pot around, because this spike is going to follow the light. And if I don't do anything, it's going to go straight out towards the window here, and may be a bit of a pain to try to deal with. So generally speaking, I will turn it around. I'll let the spike kind of extend, it'll turn around back towards the light, and then I can either tie it to last year's spike or put a new stake in the medium here and stake this one up as well. And that's going to be spectacular. I mean, I expect to have at least 15 to 18 flowers on that spike alone. And then over here, this was a new Phalaenopsis that I got as a gift last year. You can see that it's got two old spikes, but again, this one is trying to create a new spike down here. And so that's exciting. And of course, that's where my attention was. And I kind of ignored the spikes that were already in place, because I was thinking, well, you know, they're done, but it turns out they're not done at all. So both of these spikes have got little new nubbins that are popping out on both ones. So it looks like we've got 3 spikes coming on this plant, and it is just, it's got the most lovely little white flowers, and they smell good. Just really everything you'd want in a houseplant like this. All right, let's go down to the tents and see what's going on with the orchids. Let's take a look in the cool tent. I love this time of year because the cool tent actually gets to be the cool tent. In the summertime, it's actually warmer than the warm tent. But because we're in the basement and there's no heating ducts where we are in this room, it gets pretty cool at night, usually down to about 60 or even 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So I just kind of want to show you what's going on in here. First of all, really kind of annoying, yesterday or the day before, I found some scale on my Masdevallia Machu Picchu. And so what I did was I gave it a soil drench in Bayer 3-in-1 insecticide, and then I turned the plant upside down and I soaked the top of the plant as well. And I also just went through there and just kind of picked off anything that looked like a crawler or an adult scale. So hopefully that's it for now, and we won't see many more of them, but it's kind of a constant battle, so you just have to stay vigilant. You never know when they're going to pop up. What's interesting is how with all these plants in here, you'd think they'd all have bugs on them, but the bugs will pick one plant that they really like and just be on that plant. So I haven't found anything over here on this Miltoniopsis. I've looked, but I haven't found anything. Haven't found anything over here on the Cuitlauzina either. They could be, but I'm not seeing them. So that's good. A couple of things really got me excited in this tent. First of all, the Brassias are pushing new growth, which is kind of weird because we're at the end of the growing season, what I would consider the growing season. But you can see down here the new growths popping out, and there's 2 on this plant, and then there's another one popping out on this plant as well. So at first I thought it might be a spike, but I think that they're growths. So that's exciting. And I believe that Brassias bloom in the spring, so I'm assuming they will put out those growths, the growths will complete, and then maybe later in the spring, like March or April, we'll see some flowers. Another plant that I'm really excited about is this Zygopetalum maculatum. I got it earlier this year, sometime in, I think, March or April, and I repotted it as soon as I got it, and it just kind of dropped leaves slowly over the course of the spring and summer, and I thought maybe I wasn't doing something right, or I don't know, but it seems to have gotten settled in, and I'm super excited that now we've got 2 really thick, healthy spikes pushing out. We've got one here, and we've got another one over here pushing out. And these are pretty new to me, so I'm not really sure if these are going to be big spikes, if there's going to be lots of flowers, if there's just going to be a few. I don't know, but I'm really excited to just watch them grow and develop. Fingers crossed that I don't find any bugs on them, because that would definitely maybe cause them to abort their spikes completely. So we're just going to hope for the best. Another plant that's got me really excited is this one. This is Nepenthes rajah crossed with edwardsiana. And you can see some of the smaller little pitchers already looking pretty aggressive with some little teeth in there. But you can see what a small leaf this was and the size of the pitcher. So look at this newest leaf, one of these newer leaves, and then look at the developing pitcher here. So I'm really, really hoping this is going to be a lot bigger, maybe twice as big as the old pitcher, and hopefully with some really nice teeth on it. We've got one more Nepenthes back here. This is a bongso cross that I got from Mikhail Kujawa a couple years ago. And you can see this pitcher's actually lasted quite a long time. Several months, maybe even, quite a long time. And then it's got a new one, you can see just swelling up back here. And then we got one over here that might actually grow out as well. So pretty exciting, and I don't know if it's because temperatures have finally dropped and these guys need cooler temperatures in order to pitcher like that. Still kind of feeling them out. Still very new to Nepenthes. Just had these for a couple years, so excited to see what they do. Alright, let's go head into the big tent and see what's going on in there. There we go. Alright, so the warm tent, like I said, the cool tent actually gets to be cool this time of year, and the warm tent actually gets to be warm this type of year. Why? Because there are heat vents in this room, and it's actually pretty cozy even though we're in the basement. The minimum temperature it gets, even when it's really cold outside, is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And because of the heat vents, it gets a little warmer in here than it does during the summer when the air conditioning is running. So could get up, if the heat's running a lot, it could get up to even 80 degrees in here. So that's perfect for these plants. They do not want to be cool or chilly at all. And we got quite a few things going on in here. You can see that the autumn colors are shining. It's you see a lot of yellow, and a lot of things are kind of transitioning from that growing season into a drier, cooler resting season. Let's start over here and look at the last Cycnoches of the bunch, Cycnoches fire Embers. This guy pushed out 3 amazing spikes about a month ago, no, 2 months ago at this point. And it wasn't done. It's going to push out one more. No idea how many flowers are going to be on that, but still, it's pretty impressive that this plant is going to have put out a total of 4 big spikes in one growing season, especially since it's just not that big of a plant. Also pretty exciting down here is my Cattleya trianae. This is Cashen's, the FCC awarded clone from the early 2000s. You can see each one of these sheaths is going to carry flowers in it in a couple of months. Last year it bloomed, I believe, in December, and you can see it's pushing more growths, and it's got 2 more growths over here. So who knows how many flowers we're going to end up this year, but it is going to be incredible. Unfortunately, and I just kind of found this out not too long ago, I tried to pick up on the pot, and I couldn't because the plant has literally cemented itself to the grating underneath it. So if I do want to pull it out to display it, there's going to be some damage, unfortunately, to the roots. But I think this plant is pretty resilient. It's not going to be too much of a big deal. Let's look at the Cloecia. So Cloecia Rebecca Northern Mikabe. This is the furthest that I've ever seen it get in terms of spiking. Previous years, I don't know if it was temperature, humidity, something, but little mites got in there and absolutely destroyed the spikes, and I only ended up getting like 1 flower off these guys. As you can see, this year's we've got 4 spikes right here in the front, and then we've got a couple more on this growth back here. So that is going to be fantastic, and if they continue to grow out, we should see a lovely, lovely display from this plant. This plant got an award of merit from the American Orchid Society a couple of years ago. Not this exact plant, but another clone of this plant. So this one carries the award as well. Over here, look at this monster. We got Rebecca Northern Aurora. It has already spent 2 big, beautiful spikes with like 40 flowers total, almost. And then it's got more spikes coming. It's got several spikes that are already bloomed out all around the plant. And our next Orchid Society meeting is not this coming Tuesday, but this Tuesday after. And I don't know if this plant's going to be in bloom still for that. They'll probably be dropping off at that point. But maybe Mikabe will be in bloom for that Orchid Society meeting. I'm not sure. But I should have something in bloom. But I really would love to show this guy off because, I mean, I got this guy. This bulb was the original bulb that this plant came with. It just had 1 when I bought it, and it has just absolutely exploded over the years and is really putting on a nice display for us. Another Rebecca Northern plant. This is Grapefruit Pink, a really older clone from the 80s. It got awarded many, many decades ago, but you can see that it is starting to spike as well. Little buds pushing out, or little spikes pushing out, just starting to split through. You can see a little bit of green action down there as well. So that's great. Last year this thing was unbelievable. It had, I think, 4 spikes per bulb, and this year it has 4 bulbs. So it's going to be really, really incredible once that thing decides to bloom. Probably a couple months away on that one. Another Cycnoches, this is Bronze Vixen. Bronze Vixen bloomed, you can see it spike. It bloomed about a month ago. Really nice, but it's not done. It's going to push out another spike back here, and that's going to be, usually it takes about 8 weeks for these guys to go from this nubbin stage to a fully bloomed out plant. Right behind it we've got Phalaenopsis philippinensis. I hung it on the wall just because I think a lot of people hang them like this. This is how they grow in nature, and you can see that it's got a spike pushing out. Even though it just had one a couple months ago, it's pushing out a new spike that's going to complement those beautiful leaves, and who knows what that's going to look like. We had 2 flowers on the first spike, so who knows what we're going to get on the next one. Over here in front of it we've got this Amorphophallus cognac. This is a bulb plant, and it's a deciduous kind of a, it needs a cool winter dormancy. Not cold, it can't withstand freezing temperatures really, but you can see it's already starting to kind of dry up, the leaves are changing color. It's telling us, hey, I'm done for the season, I'm going to go to sleep. So this top part is all going to die back, and it's just going to be a bulb down in the pot, which I'm going to let dry out completely, and then I'll put it in a cool place, probably here in my basement or maybe in my garage, and then in the spring should see a new growth sometime in February, March, or April, and a new leaf push out. One more plant to take a look at. Let's have a look at this Bulbophyllum lepidum over here. I hung this up on the wall again because it just, that's kind of how they grow in nature on the sides of trees, and I like to see them hanging like that. So it's bloomed on and off for the past couple months, but it's got one spike right here that's just about to pop open. And these bloom out so fast when they finally do bloom. It'll only be a couple more days before that's fully open. And who knows if there'll be more pushing out. Alright, well, that's about all for today. I appreciate you guys coming to have a look at my green pets. I hope everything's growing well for you, and I will see you next time.